Hello and welcome back to War Thunder, and welcome back to our first impressions for the FV4202 on the War Thunder live server. Now I've done a realistic expectations video on this tank, which nearly has 4,000 views, so I thought I should do a first impressions if this tank went up to the expectations that I had for him. And well, yes and no. It didn't have access to APDS on the live server and doesn't have it here. This is a bit controversial, but I think the 20 pounder performs as good with the shot Mark 1, the simple solid shot with 218 millimeters of penetration, than it does with APDS at higher tiers. But it would be also a bit overpowered in my opinion to give this tank APDS. Now, what's the good side about this tank? It's rapid firing 20 pounder, where we have a decent amount of ammunition, but because of the relatively low damage output and the horrible inaccuracy at long distances, as long as the gun is stock, so I highly recommend to upgrade the gun accuracy. You can run through your ammunition rather quickly, and I had a few matches where I actually run out of ammunition just making 4 kills on Poland, where I was on the other side of the lake in arcade. And yeah, I test tanks always in arcade. Now the gun has its upsides and its downsides, but you know, for me this gun with the solid shot is, I prefer it so much over the L7 gun with its APDS. I don't know if it's the tanks you face or the environment, or if it's just this slightly quicker rate of fire, if it's damage output, I don't know, but the 20 pounder just works for me. It doesn't work like an 88, it requires a completely different playstyle and also a different style where you aim. Usually with APHE shells you aim for the crew compartment, which takes out the RNG out of the killing. So basically, because when you shred the crew, there is no, if the fuel tanks get ruptured and burn or explode, if the engine burns or explode, or the ammunition rack explodes, you know, it can happen as well with APHE, but you shred the crew, and a lot of the crew, which is the nice thing about APHE. Now again, with the exception of the Reward Grand 1 tank, the British have access to no APHE shell. But you know, I happily trade APHE shells for a fast firing, high performing gun. The problem is the real inaccuracy when this gun is stock. It's horrible. It's horrible. I had on Poland a King Tiger at 1.1 kilometers distance. He was broadside on, he stood still. I fired 20 shots at him, not one of them hit. It was disastrous. But at the same time, I hit a moving T-34-100 and one-shot at him at 1.5 kilometers. So yeah, that's RNG. That's the massive influence RNG. It remembers me of Wall of Tanks. And in a moment you can see the good side about fast firing solid shots. Now I see that there is this T-34-85, and I see that he doesn't look at me, so I decide, boom, nice shot, and then I get shot in the lower plate. I was very lucky that the ammunition rack didn't blow up. I disabled the gunner and the commander of the Panther, and then I was a bit, you know, not sure where to shoot. And yeah, I disabled the gun. So he can't shoot back. He has to repair, and that gives me the time to, you know, take out other parts of this tank. So he got his gunner back, I take him out again, and you know, he has to repair the gun, but he never gets to do so as I take out his driver, limiting the crew to 2. And then I just wait until the gunner gets back into the turret. I see the gun moving, and he also shoots with the damaged gun, but I aim too high. The gunner of the Panther sits a bit lower, as you'd expect, but it doesn't matter. I had the reload advantage and take him out of commission. So that's the 4th kill. This gun works under certain circumstances, but like so many other tanks, you shouldn't go alone. you don't have the armor to, you know, stay on flat terrain or open terrain. You should use hull down, but even that is not a promise that you are invincible, but it gives you so many more chances. 10 degrees of gun depression, that's so good. So that's my first impressions. I like this tank, but it needs all the upgrades. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you liked this video. If so, give it a like. Subscribe if you want to see more, and follow me on Twitter. Anyways, see you on the battlefields of War Thunder.